Cyndi. Cyndi, oh my gosh, it's been too long.
I
Feels like
know.
months, but it's
It
probably
really,
only been, a week or so.
it really does. These choosing choice every 10 seconds really takes time to a whole nother level.
It really does. Well, you look pretty healthy and happy and shiny and sparkly. What's going on?
Well, just choosing just more for my body and really asking my body what it would like. Even this morning, I asked, I was going to get up and get coffee, and I was like, no, tea, and even this invitation to be on this coffee talk was like, body, would you like to be? And I was like, yes, I want to play. I want to talk. I want to show. And definitely wants to play more. So it's really cool.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. Well, I tell you, that is definitely a sign of living that like gives you more energy. I was just visiting with my dad and my stepmom, and
Yeah.
my dad is struggling with cancer, and there's no joy in his day. Doesn't want to eat, doesn't want to drink, doesn't want to do nothing. And it's really interesting to watch that and like perceive that energy, because it's heavy and not fun, but that's his choice. And man, thank goodness for the tools and being able to just be like, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, because it's really, what can I contribute? Because you can contribute a lot, Julie. You have lots of tools, but it's like, what is he willing to receive?
Yep.
And so if they're not choosing to receive more, then you can only just be there and be present, and but even that doesn't even create more for them. But yeah, definitely opening. It's so interesting because even I went to Puerto Vallarta for the body whispering class, and before I had gone there, certain issues were coming up with my body, aches, pains, just like, and then I had all these points. Well, maybe I shouldn't eat that. Maybe I shouldn't drink that. Maybe, maybe it's this. Maybe I need to exercise and stretch more, all this stuff. But I went to Puerto Vallarta and I ate whatever and I drank whatever, and I felt so great. I felt so relaxed. And so I started asking questions. I was like, well, that, so I was like, what is that then? So I started to notice on my way back certain conversations I would have, and those aches, certain people I was around, those issues came. I was like, oh, none of it is mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm trying to either fix it for them, heal it for them, control it. Oh my gosh, I've seen how controlling I am. Big time. It's like, wow. I'm like letting all that go.
We're all such control freaks. I mean, it's crazy because you can see it in other people. Oh my God, they're so controlling with this. And it's like, oh, if I can see that in them, where am I doing that?
Exactly. So that's the gift. And the gift also is to not have judgment about it. It's like, oh, wow, I'm doing that again. Because before I'd be like, fuck, I'm doing that again. I was like, come on, I should know better. Or, that's even heavy. It's like, oh, where you can just like, okay, choose again and choose again. But
totally,
it's just really different.
What also was really apparent is the difference, like, because I was also in Puerto Vallarta for certified facilitators. And then the week after that, I went to New York and facilitated Talk to the Entities class. And in those places and spaces, I met people who didn't even speak my language. And yet there was this openness of energy and this connection and flow, and being with these people in my family, it was like there were no possibilities. It was like there was just this wall and there was no connection. And I realized that it's not wrong. It's just that's all they're willing to have. And it's so familiar because that's how it's been our whole lives together with these particular people. And I always thought, well, why can't I connect with them? Why can't I come up with some question to ask that, will open up that space? Because there is none for them, and that's okay. And I'm not wrong, and they're not wrong. And that was,
and even when
you
say that, like when you're sharing about what they're choosing, it's like, yeah, I could sense that contraction in your, when you say they're not wrong, I'm not, it gives them space to even just be and choose whatever they're choosing. And yeah, like that's just a big one coming up, that they're not right, they're not wrong, you're not right.
So I was able to run energy a couple of times on my dad's feet. And it was just, whatever energy you require, restoration and communion with earth, and exit stage left. You have choice. I'm not trying to do anything to you. It's what would you like to receive? And my sister worked on my stepmother, which was interesting because she had an accident just before we were about to leave. Oh, my internet looks like it's really spotty. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, something fell on her and created this huge lump. And so I'm working on my dad, and my sister's working on my stepmother. And the lump went down like in 10 minutes. And it started to create all this bruising. And even the bruising mostly went away.
Wow.
And it's so interesting that, they can see that changed physically in mere minutes.
Yep.
But, what we do is weird and, undefinable.
Yeah. I can't see it. I don't believe it. If it's never existed before, then it has to be something weird. And I'm okay with being weird now. I'm like, wow. It's like, yes, I am weird. I am the crazy
Somebody
ant.
gave us some hearts. Thank you for the hearts.
Thank you.
Anybody watching, if you want to join the conversation, go ahead and put a comment in the chat. I know you've had a lot of things with your family come up. You've been to a lot of weddings, a lot of births, and funerals.
Yes.
What are your favorite tools for dealing with all of it?
All of it is just being me, like just really being me, being the joyful person that I be. I'm always a hugger. With everything going on, people will have like distance and everything. I'm sorry if you're around me. I mean, I want to hug you. If you don't want to, that's fine. I won't take it personal, but I just love hugs. And I'm just really present with them. But more and more, I've been like, just interesting point of view. I have the point of view. Interesting point of view. They have a point of view. An interesting point of view that I have the point of view that they should have my point of view.
Yeah,
that's a big one,
It's definitely
and
no
so
longer trying to get people to see that there are possibilities. It's like, okay, you get that there are no possibilities, no problem. I'm not going to join you over there, but go ahead and enjoy it.
Yeah. And I'll still sit around and hang out with them. But if someone's judging me and projecting, like really, and I can sense it, I'll just walk away. I'll be right back. I got to go take care of this. But there's a couple of times I really, I wasn't mean about something, but I really pointed something out, and I was like, well, that doesn't feel good. And I acknowledge that what they just said didn't feel good. And I walked, that didn't quite sit well with me. So I'll talk to you later. And that's something different for me too, because I'm like, oh, I can't say that, or I shouldn't say that. But I want them to know that there's certain things that I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna sit around and take from people, and that's not cool. And
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Alina says hi, and Mark says, interesting point of view. I have the point of view that they should have my point of view. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when we first learned these tools, we were like, you don't need to be limited. Why are you limited? Look, there's all these possibilities. And it's like, it took us a certain amount of time to choose and to get.
Yeah, but I really see before I was coming from the rightness, like really the rightness. I was I was righteously right about what I knew and what I didn't do, what I didn't know, and what I was choosing with what I did know. And so, but now it's like, okay, I'm choosing what I'm choosing. That's my point of view. I'm really practicing the no judgment of what other people are doing.
Yep.
But I'm also practicing not being around certain things that don't work for me, instead of just like,
Yep.
you know, but that, I mean, the no judgment and just being in that space is just so,
Yeah.
so awesome.
This
Sometimes
is,
you don't,
what's that?
sometimes you don't even need words. You just be
Right.
that space.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the first time that my sister and I visited family without staying with them, and they insisted, no stay, no stay, no stay. And I was like, no, we're not going to. And it's amazing how
They were insisting for you to stay with them?
they
They were
wanted us to stay with them.
okay, because it sounded like you were saying no, like for them not to, for you not to stay.
No. And
Mhm.
I just knew that I needed to get away
Mhm.
overnight to
Mhm.
regain space, because it's really challenging being in a no space area. Wow, what is up with my computer?
Hmm.
I can see the Facebook thing, it keeps freezing. And so I'm like, okay,
Back off.
be a little SOP for the internet to work.
I'm just so excited. No. My body gets excited, and now it's so interesting because the more I noticed in that couple of, well, I did the right voice for you too with Desiree. Oh my gosh, amazing! What a gift!
Yeah, it's
And
a
just
great class.
noticing the intensity in my body when it gets really like, um, I would guess some people would call jittery or butterflies. It's like it's that excitement that my body has. Like so I've been asking, okay, body, what would you like to share in this class? Okay, body, what would you like to contribute? And some of the things that come out of my mouth, it's like, oh, that's different. That's
Yeah,
it's just really cool.
I remember going to have lunch with my grandfather many years ago, like I was in high school or something. And I remember trying to come up with conversations that we could have before I even went, and how, like, I can ask him about this and I can ask him about that. And it was such this like place of I had to have those things in mind.
Mhm.
And that I used to do that for many, many years. And it was only, I think it was after the first advanced body class many years ago that we undid something about this reality, and like having to like fit yourself into this reality. It's some weird body process. I can't even remember the name. And it was
Yes,
the first time where I could actually stand up in front of a crowd, whether it's a class or whatever, making an announcement and not have anything in my head and be able to just speak it. And it was like, oh my God, that's so much easier. And you have no idea what you're going to say, but what comes out sounds brilliant.
like,
And all
okay.
the trying to figure it out was just
Mhm.
mind bullshit.
Yeah. And like being present and out of your head also gets you to speak to what the people in that moment, time and space can hear and receive. So if you're in your head, you're already having those conversations. And then
Yeah.
you get there like, huh? You're like, huh? Because I
So
can't hear
like
it.
another time I was doing a presentation with computers. My job was working at a software company and selling different software packages. It was all about the graphics packages, was my specialty. And I had to do this seminar for people. And I had all this stuff that I had memorized that I was supposed to say. And I got up there and I started saying it. And after like 2 minutes, my mind went completely blank and I forgot everything. And I was like standing there for probably 5 minutes, not saying anything. And then somebody asked a question and I started speaking to the questions. And it was great. It was amazing. It's that same thing of pre-figuring out what you think you need to say instead of being with people and speaking to what they can hear.
That's awesome.
What would it take for us to all know that
And
and
I think,
not, yeah,
well, there's know that, and also trusting yourself, trusting that you know, you you can't mess it up. You can't mess it up.
you
Just
think you're going to jump off a cliff, but it's really, not even, there's no step down. It's just straight.
well, it's so interesting. Also, when I went to Puerto Vallarta, we went swimming with the dolphins. We got a chance to go swim with the dolphins. So we went out actually into the ocean. It wasn't one of those enclosed areas. The lady, she was really into being out in the wild with the dolphins, not touching the dolphins, obviously not feeding the dolphins, but just really being present with them. And she did say, she's all, if you feel uncomfortable, if you don't want to get in, like, don't get in. And for like the first, I think almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, I didn't get in. I was like, no, no, no. I'll just, video and take
I watch
pictures.
everybody else having fun.
Yeah. Gee, where else do I do that in my life? But the dolphins literally came to the boat and they were like around, like coming around, like, come in. And I was like, I was like, I don't want to. And they're like, come in. Like they wanted to just play. And so I could see everybody. There was a group of 6 of us and they were out there swimming with them. And I was like, that does look yummy. So I just go, okay, I'm going to do this. But I just asked my body, like, like, is this okay? And I was like, because I don't want to go in afraid.
Right.
So I did. I got my life jacket. I didn't put the snorkeling thing in because I didn't want to get in the water, but I just put my life jacket on and I just swam over there by them. And then I just sat there, well, didn't sit there, but I just, with my life jacket, swimming in the water and just watched everybody, and just kind of be there. And I was like, okay, like I'm here. And then 2 of them came over and they were like swimming around me and I could sense they wanted me to get in the water. And I was like, no. And then I was like, I just put my head in the water and they just kind of came around. But there was a sense of space and joy and play with these dolphins that it was just like, oh my gosh, that's what a gift. Like that energy of just playing and no judgment and invitation. And it's like, I want to be that, that invitation.
You are that, you silly. You are that. Oh, right. When you're not putting on the emergency brake.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and we only do that because it's like we're not allowing ourselves to be there also.
Yeah. Wow. Thank
yeah.
you.
I know. I was looking at, there's certain groups that I can be that more, and then other groups where it's, I don't know what I'm doing, taking on points of view or whatever. And I was listening to one of Dane's calls this morning, and he said, if that energy comes up that makes you feel one way or another, you can just talk to the energy. Say, go away, cut it out, stop it. And it's so funny because I woke up in the middle of the night, like being in the future, and it was sort of like what my stepmother does. She worries a lot about what's going to happen, and that doesn't create anything. And so I was like, no, stop it, go away. Like, this isn't me. And you can do that and it changes.
Yeah, I used to do, thank you for sharing, just acknowledge, like, I hear you. Thank you for sharing. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just an acknowledgement.
Yeah. That's your reality. That's not my reality.
Yeah.
Have a good time with
I love that. It's the energy of it, because it is like a person. It's like when people are kind of telling you something or asking you for something, and you're like, yeah, you're not gonna just like ignore them because they'll keep at you. But if you acknowledge them and you hear what you said, okay, thank you, but I'm gonna choose this. And they're like, okay, or whatever. But I like that. Talk to the energy of it.
I think it's cool that you went in and swam with the dolphins.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Even if it took you however long it took.
Yes, but I did get in there. And
high five, girl.
High five.
Because that's big. That's like, when we were test driving the Tesla.
Yes.
And you were like, no, I'll just sit here and you get to drive it, but I don't want to drive it.
Yeah. And then I drove it.
And it's like, Yeah. What is that stupid emergency brake
Wow.
on the fun of life?
Um,
As if you're
I
going to
used to not
do
have,
something dangerous, but
yeah,
no, it's fun.
yeah. I used to just jump in and do things. It's interesting, something to really look at. And like
Yeah.
when I stopped just to being a yes for the adventure.
Whose reality is that?
Wow. Huh. Not mine.
Because there's, asking questions to check in and see, what's this going to create? And, is it going to be dangerous? Like, you don't want to just do something
Jump
that's going to
in.
be dangerous, but
No.
it's not. It's just fun.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. Fun is dangerous.
A little fun is okay. Too
Don't
much
have,
fun.
yeah,
Don't have too much.
because that would be dangerous. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Wow.
that. Wow. 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 Wow.
Well, am I going to get to see you at Bars Trade this week?
Yes, for sure. Oh my gosh. Yes, 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 yes.
You'll have to come early so we
Yes.
can, have an early dinner, late lunch snack.
Yes, for sure.
It's so fun. I'm excited. We still have like 8 minutes that we can chat.
Yeah.
What else is going on in your life?
What else is going on? Well, just had a really sweet party for my mom and dad. My mom just
Mhm.
turned 70 and my dad turned 74. And we had it here at my house. And it was interesting because the family was putting everything together, but I found myself doing a lot of the work, like calling the mariachi, calling the caterer, getting everything ready. My husband and I were doing all this and that and testing out the speakers, and I was starting to get like a little frustrated, like nobody's helping, nobody's participating. But then there was a moment I was like, wait a minute, I actually enjoy this. I actually like putting parties together. And my husband and I were having a really good time. We'd invite people over and they'd help us set up chairs. They would be on the microphone singing songs and we'd start dancing. We'd have a glass of wine, as we're getting the party ready. So we were already partying like 3 days before the party. So it was like, okay, that was just an acknowledgement of like, okay, I don't have to be like mad that people know that. I mean, some people did help. It's not like my family, a lot of them didn't, but there was a moment of like, so-and-so's not here. They're not here. Why aren't they here? And then I was like, oh, so I let it go and it just became fun. It wasn't work. It was just fun. And they had a great time. Oh my gosh, my parents had they loved it. They had a good time, and they've gone through a lot this year with their health and my father's brother passing away, and just like a kind of like a new lease on life for both of them. I just see something shifted for both of them. Like there's this new joy, present. Yeah.
So nice. Vivian says you love to put parties together. It's so true. Nobody's helping.
Hey,
because
speaking of parties,
it probably goes, is there anything I can do? And you're like, nope.
I do. Gosh, it's so funny. I do say, no, I got it. We got it together. And then at the the last minute, I'm scrambling. And I go, what do I love about scrambling at the last minute? So it's like, okay.
You can prove how amazing you are that you can get it together in the last possible minute.
Speaking of, I want to do an open mic night. So I'll invite some of the ladies from the Bay Area. We could do singing, poetry, comedy.
That's fun.
Fun.
We were in an Uber going, I don't know, either to the hotel or to my dad's or whatever over this weekend, my sister and I, and some songs came on and we're like, turn it up. And there was this one song from Sade that like, I don't know, 30 years ago, we used to sing when we were in Cape Cod, working in Cape Cod in the summer. Mm-hmm. And we would like drive into town and blaring it and singing out loud. So we had the guy turn it up and we're singing and having a great time in the back of the car.
Hold on. You and your sister Jen?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. It was so awesome to have each other there. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine doing that by myself.
Yeah. And making it fun and just being able to
Yeah. Blow
other
off a little
doors.
steam.
You were mine first. I'll run yours next. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's kind of cool. It's like leapfrog, when, or whatever. It's like you can pull them forward when they're like in the crunchy
yeah.
places.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But I've just been, I feel like I've been like floating on this new space, like since the class with Dane. And you've been hearing it in some of his other classes with space. And you've always, and it's interesting because you've done those expanding exercises. And that's pretty much what those are, is getting to that space of who you truly be. But it's interesting because a couple of things have come up since then where I normally would like, okay, destroy and uncreate, talk and pod, da da da. But now it's like I just ask the question, okay, how can I be more space with this? And the moment I ask that, it's like it just like bursts. It's like, okay, now what do I do? Like, with whatever comes up, whether I'm with someone that I'm just like feeling uncomfortable, it's like, here they are, I'm in the situation. How can I just be more space here? It's like, oh, and then I could just be with them. I think, oh, it's so different. It's so simple.
Yeah. There's no doing. And you're like, what? This is too easy. It really is too easy.
It is.
Maybe I'll do another daily expandlet something.
Yes. Getting into that space of you with total ease.
It's really so much easier when you do have a group too. I notice when I'm in the thick of it, sometimes it's really hard to perceive the space. But when you do it in a group, even if people aren't on, you can just perceive it different.
And I think you can go further too. I think people can go further than when they're alone. And I'll use something as an example. My sister just shared with me. We were at this outdoor free concert that they have here in our town. And they were playing these amazing 80s cover band songs, like so much fun. And I was like, everybody was sitting there. I was like, I got to go dance. My body wanted to move. I was like, come on. Nope. Come on. Nope. I was like, well, I'm going, And my sister's, I'll go too. And so we went and we danced like probably 3 or 4 songs in a row. We were just dancing, laughing, singing. And we got back and she's still wanting to dance. We're with the group of people that were, had their lawn chairs out. And she's just like, wow, usually I'm like one song and I'm tired. She said, but I got so energized. And I go, yeah. And I really got like, we just tapped into the energy with everybody. And we just like, it was amazing. I felt like I was in a big stadium concert. It was just like, it was awesome. It was so much
so cool.
And I sense that that's what it is when you get together with a group of people that are really not so much in the same journey, but we kind of are on the same journey because we're asking questions, we're asking for more awareness, more of us. So we're willing to go and expand even more. And I know I'm not as afraid of doing things when I'm in a group. Surprisingly, because I would think like, oh, it's too many people, but well, especially the groups I've been in, they've been so awesome. They've been people I've been getting to know throughout the years, so it's like they feel more like family than anything. So it's really cool.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Coffee Talk. I've really missed you. And if anybody else wants to do Coffee Talk, send me an email or something and we'll set it up because my schedule's open.
Oh, there's so many amazing people in the Bay Area doing amazing things. I'd love to hear more. But yeah. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. I will see you in a couple days. Bye, everybody. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you for joining.